guys, welcome to Coffee and Stitches with Mandy. I am Mandy. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Mandy Pinecone. Today is Sunday, June 19th. I hope everybody's had a good May and beginning of June. It's been somewhat busy here, and I don't see it slowing down. Work for me for this usually until July 4th is usually pretty busy. So, and then we'll see how it goes the rest of the year. But yeah, so we've got a lot to talk about. I've got stitching, I've got a couple finishes, couple new starts, 4 sweaters that I've knit on. Yes, 4. I've started, some of them have about this much done, other ones I've got a bunch done, so those will be thrown in. Yeah, it's just gonna be how I grab things. So starting off, because it's what's in my lap, is my finishes. So I finished the May Country Cottage Needlework sampler of the month. I'm using Call for Colors. This is 18 count Vintage Country Mocha. I used 2 strands, and I really enjoy this series. So yeah, that one's done. And then I started, do I have the Hands-On Designs Year in Celebration. So I've got the May, yeah, drop it. Sorry about that. The May block done. This is stitched on 20 count Marbled Bunny, I think, by Extra Designs, using the Called for DMC. So there's that one. And then I've got the, from Seasons 2 from Hands-On Design, the May, oh, there's hot glue, block, and this is using Called for DMC, and this one is on 20 count Vintage Country Mocha. So I've got those. Those are both fun stitches. I finished those end of April. Yeah, I love both of these. These are on my crate on my living room table. I am recording from my screened-in porch because it is a nice, beautiful 70-degree weather. So, and then I started 2-3 days ago when I felt like stitching again, the June block from Hands-On Design, which is from, this is what season, so it is, whoops, this block up here. So it's got the sandcastle and the beach towel, so it's the beach themed. And this is the 20 count Vintage Country Mocha. So yeah, I'm stitching this 1/1. So I've got that far down in this one. I'm just stitching on when I feel like it. I was going to try to do a month ahead, but May, I didn't feel like stitching on that. May, I will show you what, and then that lives in my summery flower bag that has the flamingos on the inside. next one, which I still have to finish this month's block on, but no big deal, is my Under the Sea by the Frosted Pumpkin. This is stitched on 18 count Polar Sky by Fabrics to Die For, I think. So I've got the May, yeah, wait a minute, no, May was the Stingray, no, April, May, and then I'm working on the May block. I've got to just finish up the sand here, and the chest, so yeah, this was March, April, May, and then the next one in this comes out on the 25th, and yes, I have multiple needle minders, but I like multiples on projects like this, so I can just put needles wherever. And then this project makes me think of Little Mermaid and Moana, which when I was stitching on this last, I was watching Moana. Yeah, so that's fun. And then that lives in my mermaid bag. And then okay, so let's where's fabric? I need this. Okay, so middle of May, my husband was New Hampshire Sheep and Wool. My husband and I decided that the week before, because I was going to New Hampshire Sheep and Wool anyway, we rented a cabin in the woods on a pond. It was this amazing week. I just sat and stitched when we weren't doing drababouts of upstate New York or New Hampshire. The cabin we stayed at was the Loon's Nest, and they gave us the water bottle, and then I just put different stickers that I've got. So this one is from Athena Stitching Goddess that came with my sticker for my planner. I've got a tie-dyed lobster, a bird from Stitch New England, and then I've got a bear. This was from 100 Ravens, Jess. I had to think. So it's a sheep with a girl knitting a rainbow, and then this comes from a Christmas card from one of my favorite authors, Lexi Blake. I really love all of her books. They're romance with suspense thrown in, and she just published her 100th book on the 7th. This was in her Christmas card from last year. So there's that. So while we're at the cabin, I decided the only thing I took was my Year in the Woods. So I decided, since we were there 6 days, because we get down there Monday, we left Sunday morning, that I was going to work on one of my patterns each day, because I had just got the Baron. So I started, if you're not familiar, so I worked on my swans, which I had started already. So I got a good portion of them stitched in May, because this one is the last one I worked on. So this must have been the one I was working on Friday, because I worked on it Friday, Saturday, and then since I got home, filling in. I'm using most of the called for color. I think, yeah, the gold switched out for, I couldn't find Grecian gold, so I got Lichen? Right here. Lichen from Weeks. And I've got these project cards by Quirks and Stitches that I just put, I printed the color card out onto sticker paper and then I just put them there for my colors. So that's what the swan's going to look like finished. So I literally just got the neck part of the tree house, and then these trees, and then some of this down here, which shouldn't take long if I pick it back up. This is stitched on back. 18 count Pompeios by Fortnite Fabrics. So there's that one. And then I had the raccoon. I have the raccoon, the jackrabbit, and the ferret on this piece of fabric, which is 18 count Secret Garden by Fiberlicious, using I think all the called for colors. I might have had to switch out the graphite. Yeah, the graphite here is actually Banker's Gray by Gast, I think. So yeah. So yeah, the raccoon was the first one I worked on, because I had a little bit up here, so I had to get over so I could count off that. So I worked over and then got the jackrabbit's ear, and then the flower for the ferret. And I was having fun just sitting out by the lake or on the screened in porch they had. And so yeah, so you've got the raccoon. So I've got just the back side of him done, and then this flower and this flower. The jackrabbit. And the ferret. I've already finished the fox, and then I started the bear, and this is on 18 count silver fox by Forever and a Whim, using all the called for colors. So I've just got the cattails here started, and then I should be getting the bald eagle some point. I get mine through Annie B Stitches, and I just haven't got it in the mail yet. So, and all those live in my wild forest bag, and on the inside it has lumberjack beavers. That's all the stitching I worked on. Yeah, we'll do them. Okay, so knitting. This one I think. On the way down to New Hampshire, I picked up my Sunset Highway by Caitlin Hunter. It is this beautiful like color work yoke, and it has some on this color work on the sleeves. I'm knitting it out of Fiber Stash Strong Toes, and the colors Lost Summer, Your Mean One, and like this color here is Beast, and Picky Husband. When I started in the car, I think I moved my stitch marker, so I got a good 2 inches knit on this. It was literally in the car driving around, because this stayed in the car the full week, and then Saturday at New Hampshire Sheep and Wool, I was sitting and knitting on it a little bit, but not much. But yeah, I'd really like this. I want to finish this at some point, but because it is coming along, it's just the body is dragging. You'll see a theme. Yeah. I think the next one, actually, the next one I worked on is my, do I have a picture? I do. Stroll sweater. It's just, I don't have a, it's just a top-down sweater with these lovely elongated stitches on the top. I fell in love with this at Vogue Knitting 2020. This was the last Fiber Festival that I went to before everything shut down. So it's, again, I'm stuck on the body. This is knit out of Fiber Stash Strong Toes and her Fuzzy Alpaca in the colorway It Freezes Me. And then the fuzzy. This, she doesn't dye this color in the Fuzzy Alpaca because this was a test to see if she liked how it dyed up and whatever. And we quickly learned that we cannot do multiple dye baths with it, but it is this lovely, yeah, you can see the elongated stitches. It is so fun to knit that, and then I'm on the body again. So, a little bit green. Yeah, so there's that sweater. I probably knit an inch on this one day, just picked it up, just knitting on it. And just put it back because I was cleaning up my craft room, trying to figure out what I had on the needles, and there's that. The last one is actually out of a book, or no, second to last one, because the last one's a new start. The last one is the Langlade by Melissa Squares. It is this lovely sweater with this lace pattern down the sleeve. I've had this on the needles, I want to say, since 2018, maybe 19. I'm knitting it with Malabrigo Purple Mystery, and this is their Rios blend. That is just superwash merino. The Strong Toes is superwash merino and nylon. Well, I've got on the body So I've got like sleeves and then just knitting down the body. This one I picked up and just, I had a tiny little ball, so I finished knitting the ball. And I will pick it back up once I get the urge to finish it. Yeah. And then I found, I think this has got to be 3 or 4 years. I use, actually for this one and my sorrel, which is by Wool and Pine. I actually use wet bags for cloth diapering. I find they hold my size sweater very nicely. And if they're in my bag and something gets spilled on it, it's no big deal. The last sweater I have is one I started last weekend, last weekend. Because it was Worldwide Knit in Public Day, and I was at Most Love Yarn, which is my local yarn store with Christy at Fiber Stash. I actually have one of her ball bands, because I usually don't have ball bands. I'm knitting let me see if I've got the cover page. The summer shawl. See, yeah. And this one is just a finger weight version with a little bit of, it's the T. So I am fading. I've got, I think that I'm 30 rows into the first chart. So I finished this. I am fading in my second color. I am using Band Candy. Potions. And When There Are 9. Band Candy and When There Are 9 are her twinkle toes. So they actually have a little bit of sparkle to them. And then the Potions is her strong toes. They're both Twinkle's toes is 75% superwash, 20% nylon, 5% twinkle. And it's bunched up on the needles. So I'm working on the top elongated stitches and having a lot of fun with this. This is what I've been working on most of the week. And then my stitch marker is a Maple Creamy. So that is what I've been working on mostly this week. And then this lives in a adorable sloth bag stitched by Jessalou. And then I picked this one, a cup, one of the handles, and and a pin up from her at New Hampshire Sheep and Wool, because she was the booth right across from us. A pin. And then, the pin. When we were, that's all I've worked on. Now we've got a little bit of haul and stitchy kindness. When I saw my sister-in-law in New Hampshire, she gave me a wrist ruler. So it's like a bracelet that has a ruler on it, which is nice. So she gave me that. And then the only other thing I picked up at New Hampshire Sheep and Wool was from Northeast Woodworks. it's a local father and daughter woodworking business. The daughter's, I think, high school, and she was, so they do this. So I picked up a seam ripper because I needed a travel seam ripper because what I'd screwed up, I think, I had to frog a big portion of my bear because I could not count. Yeah. So I picked up that sheet. They do pens, and they actually have a double side. They do crochet hooks, so you can switch this out for like crochet hooks. Yeah. If you're in the New Hampshire area, you should check them out because I don't think they have their shop online yet. I think some point in May, I ordered Sheep Peep by Plum Street Sampler from the Tiny Hummingbird Stitchery, which is a Facebook group run by Sammy J of here on Flosstube. I've been watching her for years. So I ordered this. This will get started at some point. I just don't know when. When we came back from New Hampshire, we were debating on where we want to go for our next trip. So we decided, because of the numbers last October, we couldn't do anything for our 15th wedding anniversary. So this October, we're going to take a trip to Costa Rica. I'm totally excited. So I had the Tire Trio, which is the floss. I ordered the fancy floss for that. That's where, I got those from Stitch New England. So that's where my order for my bird came. And I just don't know what I'm stitching it on yet. So this is going to be my pattern for my anniversary trip. So I've got the floss. I've already got the DMC. I've got I think this is the May. Yeah, this is the May fabric of the month from Be Stitch Me. I get her mix color. So this is 18 count. And then I get the fat quarter. So this is pink chocolate, which is a pretty pinky brown color. I love this color. I don't know what I'm going to stitch on it yet. And then I've also got her April, which is Rainy Day. This I already have a project for. And then this is what I was looking for. Most Love Yarn, like I said, is my local needle workshop, or my local yarn shop. It's like 3 miles that way from me. So when I was there, I grabbed one of their enamel pins because I don't have those. And then I picked up from Knitter's Pride a circular needle case because my needles were in a big box and needed to be sorted. So I got the circular needle case, and then, I don't know where. From Cat's Paw, I got a rolled needle case for my DPNs. Because, I needed to find a better way to store them than just in a drawer where they're not sorted. Okay, so plants. Starting Tuesday, I'm going to start Primrose Cottages Hello Summer using my own colors. I'm going to use the Fangirl Fibers Silks that I got in my Disney holiday box. And then Weeks Chartreuse and Cantaloupe. I just don't know what color I want to stitch it on yet. So I either have Mystic Fibers, everything else, a piece of gray, or a piece of blue. So in the comments below, tell me which one you would do it on, because I'm starting that for the first day of summer. And then starting July 1st, was my friend Rainy of Rainy Day Raids, and then my friend Sarah, the bookish knitter here in Flosstube, using this piece of fabric, Rainy Day, from Be Stitch Me. This is the 18 count. I am stitching July 4th by Shannon Crispy, and then July 1st, which is the Canadian version. I'm going to invert this pattern and stitch it backwards so the trucks face each other, using all the called for DMC. So yeah, I've got to take a look at, I'll probably put like 3 stitches in between this and this, but we're starting that July 1st and using the hashtag Happy July, because our friends from Sarah's from Canada, so we wanted to do that, and I am literally maybe 30 minutes from Canada, so I want to do both. So there's that, and then I've got the next part of the Under the Seesaw from Frosted Pumpkin, releasing the 25th, so I'll work on that. I'll probably start the June from seasons 2 some point this week once I finish the one from Year in Celebration, and then we'll see what else I feel like starting. Here I don't see many more starts. I really want to get back to my Year in the Woods. They're calling to me, so we will see. But I hope everybody has a good week, month, and stays happy and healthy. Bye.